Tune into 90.4 Oman FM. I'm Abdullah Maawali, and joining me today in the studio is Qoot Al Quloob Al Husseiniya. Thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you for having me here, Abdullah.
Qoot, I've been following your content, and you know this, we spoke about this before, for quite some time. And I'm not the kind of person who follows people who are on social media, particularly influencers. I don't know how you feel about that.
I don't classify myself as an influencer.
Neither do I. However, you do have influence for the type of content that you put out. You put out very informative stuff, bringing people's attention to subject matters that would be of benefit to them. A lot of it to do also with business development and whatnot. How would you describe your content to our audience?
So basically my goal, my aim is to create content in the fields I'm more interested in, like economics, business, sometimes some social aspects. But however, my biggest goal is to deliver the information in a very delightful way.
Delightful?
Yes.
Okay.
Sometimes I use humor, storytelling. Basically, I want people to like what I like. And I want them to understand that this is relevant to their everyday life. However, they are finding difficulties processing it, maybe because of the difficult terminologies that experts use. So I try to make it, simple without the, the jargons, so they understand it.
So what is it that you like, that you want people to like?
Do you remember back in school when the math teacher says, in order to make us like math, she says, math is an everyday life. It's in your, It's in your home, it's in school, it's in everywhere.
Right.
You need to love math, but we don't love math, most of us. So it's like that, basically. With business, it's in everyday life. It's in their personal character, it's in their work, their studies, everywhere. So I just want them to understand how relevant and important that is to their lives, basically.
So would you say the majority of your content focuses on business aspects of things, business development?
Yeah.
And where did this come from? What inspired you to start publishing this kind of information on your page?
So initially, because of my work experience, I worked in business development. There was a point where we had to hire somebody. The team was growing, and we were interviewing people like around my age, a bit older, a bit younger. So we were going through the interview process, and I realized there is such a huge gap between what they get taught in universities and college and actual life.
Reality.
Yes.
Yeah.
And they are taking it purely academic, and they are trying to implement that in real life or reality, and they are not processing the fact that this should be embraced within their personality, their daily life. It's not something I would memorize. It's not a definition I would memorize and I'll implement. So from there, I'm like, why not make this fun? So people like the content that I will create.
Like, what is the ideal outcome for you? What do you hope people are going to get?
Basically, I want to bridge that gap, but not just bridge it. I want the bridge to be attractive enough for people to cross it, and then we all make a team of entrepreneurship enthusiasts or something, if you want to call it like that.
I mean, I know this is a bit of a cliche, but it is a mindset. To be an entrepreneur is not just
it is
I'm going to start a business today.
Yes.
You need to be able to identify opportunities, and in order for you to do that, you need to have this inherent mindset that's always working. Right?
And the biggest proof of that, you see, most successful businessmen don't have degrees, and they brag about that. But this is the whole concept, that this is not academic, and it doesn't necessarily apply 100% the way you're imagining it to apply to reality.
But academics can help.
It can help, of course. It gives you the basics, it gives you the foundation, it gives you the ideal situations in which you can, brainstorm your options in dealing with situations, business situations.
When did you start your page? When I say when did you start your page, I mean in its current format.
June 2023.
So not that long ago.
Yeah, June 2023.
And have you faced any challenges?
In what sense?
So you're putting out content on a weekly basis, sometimes more than once per week as well, where you're teaching people about different aspects of business or the country sometimes. You're offering you're exposing people to possible opportunities. So did your concept when you first started was the same, or did it change? And did you face any difficulties when you first got into it?
So initially I had like too many information, and the duration was 60 seconds or
90
120
seconds.
Maximum we can go to a minute and a half
if you're doing a reel.
If we are doing a reel. I realized that I was rushing into it because most people were surprised that for many factors. First, that a young girl is talking about business and numbers and economy. Like they were questioning what qualifies me to choose certain topics or discuss certain topics.
For context, you're in your mid-20s right now.
I'm in my mid-20s. And people don't imagine, or they cannot understand, that this is not about it's not about qualification. It's not about what qualifies me to talk about certain topic. They are used to, especially in social media, they're used to light topics. The trends, especially with us, with females, they are stereotyping us that we have to talk about beauty, fashion. So I think they were thrown off by the fact that I wasn't discussing the expected from me. This is the biggest pushback I faced. But consistency, I kept doing what I wanted to do in the first place, and it reduced with time. But I learned that I have to simplify even more what I was discussing, because sometimes in my head it's clear, but to people it's not. So I had to make it even, use better examples, more relevant examples. Sometimes humor plays big part. It's even better than 5 slides deck. So I used to make it joyful.
Also, the energy that you put out in your video, you seem so hyped.
I am hyped, even behind the scenes. and yes, one thing they say, I talk really fast.
Which works for social media. I don't think you speak too fast, but you do speak fast. But you have to.
they come. No, I speak fast, by nature. But people think I am speaking too fast. They find it very difficult to catch up.
Well, lucky for them, they can always repeat the video.
Exactly.
And it's only 90 seconds.
Exactly. That's what I say as well.
You perfectly are leading me to my next question. Could you share your approach or method for simplifying complex information to ensure that it's accessible for everyone? How do you go about it?
So first of all, I take an international or a global event that's happening, or maybe sometimes local events or local changes such as the VAT or excise tax or etc. Maybe some of the topics I discussed were about social insurance. So initially, I used to think like you. I used to think in English. And then when I started creating content in Arabic, I had to force myself to know the Arabic terminologies, first of all.
Which is tough because in uni we're taught in English.
Yes. And I used to, and my work environment, we used to speak English the full time. So it was very difficult for me to get the right terminologies. At the beginning of my content creation, I used to Google Translate everything. Like in Arabic, like I Google translated. Then I realized that I have to relax. I'll just say whatever I want. I'll explain the way. Basically, I started preparing my topics as if I'm going to explain it to my brother, who is now 11, 5th grade. And I made sure I say something funny. I connect it to something relevant to normal people. And I use simple words. At first I was going extreme, like learning the correct terminologies in Arabic, the way they study it, but then I was like, I don't have to do that. That's
one of the things that's unique about your content is that you do speak with your Omani dialect. Was that a conscious decision?
No, at first it wasn't. It wasn't a strategic decision, if we may call it that. But with time, I realized that people were finding me more authentic. They related with me faster, which helped me, of course, to reach the goal of making them like the topic instead of me. Yeah.
You said something interesting. You said when you're writing your content, you're thinking about the 11-year-old. Does that apply to all of your content?
Mostly yes, because when I write my content, it's not to be condescending in any way, shape or form, but we don't know who is going to see that video. Now, yesterday I hit 145. I don't know the exact.
That's 145,000 followers, by the way.
Sorry. Yes, so in the back of my head, I always keep in mind that somebody is going to see this and will not understand because they don't have the background. They're not coming from business background. They are not exposed to these kind of topics. And my goal is to make them like it and understand how important it is for them. So I prepare it in that way, not to be condescending, of course.
One of your content that I really benefited from a lot was about when starting your own business, about whether you should start it as Tajar Fard, which is also known as a sole proprietorship, or what's the other word?
LLC, limited liability.
So I watched that and you made me consider that maybe I should switch from a sole proprietorship.
Oh, you should. You should.
Because you made a very strong case for why it is safer to have the other option. Because then your assets are not tied directly to you.
Your personal assets.
Your personal assets are not directly tied with business asset. And this is one example of a lot of the content that you put out there. Maybe you could share a couple of other examples for our audiences.
Yeah, see, this is the thing. When I started explaining fundamentals. I started explaining the roles, the type of companies, the definition of everything, because this is how we are taught any new topic or new subject. Most people were saying, like, for example, I would define why entrepreneurship is important. It's such a lame question, but
I do agree.
Not everybody is aware, and not everybody is understanding how valuable it is for GDP, for societies, for the global economic, basically. I had to explain that, although some people who are like in a bit advanced level of knowledge, they would consider it as lame question. But there are things that I have to go through in order to, make everybody in the same base. We are moving together. I
agree. Sometimes you just assume that some things are given, but they're not given.
Exactly.
And there are certain informations that is out there that maybe people have heard it 10 times, 10,000 times, but you might have a way of communicating it that might get to a whole other demographic that they wouldn't have otherwise. So that's fantastic. Now you are very consistent with your scheduling. How frequently do you post?
Ideally 3 times a week, but sometimes I have to post more than 3 times because if there is any certain major event happening, like what's going on now with the tariffs, so I have to post regularly.
Have you posted about the tariffs yet?
I prepare them. I'm posting starting from tomorrow.
Interesting. Yes. I've been considering doing something for the radio about the tariffs, actually.
It's interesting. It's a very interesting topic.
It is. I think what's interesting to me is less so about the trade war between the 2 superpowers of the world. It's more about what does that mean for Oman? And does this present an opportunity that we might be missing?
Yes, exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
And that's the question that I'm trying to explore with the piece that I'm working on.
Maybe you can check my thread on X. I already wrote.
I will cheat from
you. No, just like, for brainstorming. It's good for brainstorming.
Really? I don't use X much, but I probably should.
Yes, you should have a look at it at least once. Give it a chance.
How do you maintain 3 posts per week? How do you maintain that consistency? That sounds like a lot.
Yeah, so I'll tell you the trick. Everybody thinks it's too much work and I don't have a life, which is true for some really, for some content creators it's true, because they would record today and they will post tomorrow or same day, which is hectic. They cannot do anything else other than content creation. For me, I would prepare the scripts. Like for now, I have maybe 10, 11 scripts ready to be recorded. I would just go one day to the studio. Now I have my own studio.
Yes,
so I'll just go one day and I'll just record the 11th ideas and I'll just schedule them,
Bulk
Bulk, exactly. Even if I'm, even if I'm on vacation to Hawaii, nobody will know. My account is boasting automatically.
Yes, exactly. I like
Yes.
that. So
Yes.
you work in chunks. So you're gonna bulk create a bunch of things.
Exactly.
And then you're secure for the next how many weeks?
1 month. I normally do it for 1 month.
Does your content still remain relevant?
Yes, sometimes sometimes I have urgent topics that are happening, so I have to record again and then delay the other content which is already ready and scheduled in order to make it relevant. Normally, if it's something that is happening right now, I make sure I post right now. Like, I don't delay it. But when I say 1 month content, it's the basics.
Yeah.
Stories about some companies, some tips and tricks, like generic stuff, which can be posted.
Generic is not the right word, but evergreen content, which means
exactly.
Whether you post it today or you post it in a month, nothing changes.
Exactly. It stays the same.
What motivates you to keep doing this?
First,
because it's a lot of work.
It is.
And this is aside from your other, you work, right?
I have a daytime job, yeah.
You have a daytime job.
Yeah.
So, like, what keeps you at it?
I am very interested in the topic overall, so it never bores me to share knowledge. I like sharing knowledge. This is one factor. Second factor, with time you get fed up and you feel tired, and what am I doing with my life? But suddenly somebody will comment or DM me something that, I wasn't getting this part at uni, or I've always wondered what does this mean, but when I saw the video, I understood, blah, blah, blah. That even boosts me up to keep giving and continue. Because the thing about social media, whoever has a negative comment will not hesitate sharing that, honestly speaking. But the positive comments, I don't know why, but this is what I've observed over the course of my content creation journey, that they always, they keep it to themselves. And why? If you have a good positive feedback, don't be shy.
Qoot, I struggle to see what people would be criticizing you on, because you're just offering information and value. Like, what are some of the things that someone
Random topics, like, for example, why is she dressed like that? Oh, you're wearing too much makeup.
Ya Allah.
Oh, this is so academic. Can you tell us something real life examples? I am not here to share my personal experience. And it would make sense if I'm offering to give, for example, workshops or training, I should share my personal experience to gain their confidence and their trust. But this is not what I'm doing. So it doesn't serve the purpose, basically. They would be demanding irrelevant stuff or commenting about irrelevant matters.
That's a bummer.
It is.
About your appearance, huh? It's a big part of it.
Makeup is a huge issue.
Is it?
Yes, although I don't wear that much makeup, but...
You see, as a guy, I would never have known that this is an issue.
Exactly, and most comments come from men.
Really?
Believe it or not.
About your makeup?
Yes. Yes, I want to ask them the same question, but أترفع.
And what do you do with these comments?
Nothing. I just ignore them, because lucky me, when the more they comment, the algorithms. Exactly. So it's fine.
You might
be my
as well
guest.
benefit from
exactly.
Yeah. And not give them the satisfaction of responding.
Exactly. I just ignore it.
Now, Qoot, your content is in Arabic, and I think it's very needed in the Arabic language. Yes. I definitely think you've identified a gap, and you're filling that gap with your content, which is fantastic. But what role do you see English media having here in the country?
So the English language media is playing a huge role, which nobody is appreciating, if I might say that, because especially the mindset of Omani people is changing, and especially after the pandemic and with the global events happening right now. So people are curious, and this is what I noticed from my content. People are noticing, they know what's going on globally, but they cannot relate it to their everyday life, which could be an amazing topic that you are planning to have an episode about the tariffs, because they read about what's going on, but there is not enough information to build a context, to give them a context about Oman and the global events that are happening. I think this is where the English language media should step up or step in. If they should step in this and fill up the gap. They should build the context and make it, correlate it with what's happening and with their everyday life.
Right.
I don't know if this is the case because I'm not into English language media, local English language media. Yet.
You do realize that you're most likely, you and I both are probably going to get criticized for the fact that we're Omanis and we're speaking English right now in this interview.
Nobody can deny the fact that most resources in the world are available in English. And if you want to find the right, real information, you have to look it up in English. We might as well speak in English sometimes.
But I also think that a lot of people do not recognize or choose not to recognize the fact that us as Omanis, we come from many different backgrounds.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
Not all of us spoke English at home growing up, and that could be for multiple reasons. Omanis, we traveled all around the world.
Exactly.
And the way we process information stems from our family's background.
Exactly.
So just criticizing based on the fact that they're speaking a language other than Arabic.
Yeah.
Now, don't get me wrong. I think it is very important that we strengthen our Arabic.
Yeah.
And to what you're saying, I think we definitely should be actively pursuing creating a knowledge base in the Arabic language. It is unfortunate that right now, if we want the most up-to-date information, we have to do it in the English language.
Exactly.
'Cause what you're saying is just facts.
Yeah.
But then whose responsibility is it to reinforce the Arabic language with the latest and greatest information?
Also, the thing is, I realized because I was creating content in Arabic throughout my journey so far, I made one video, bilingual video, Arabic, English, and Hindi. It was such a short video, and it hit 1 million. And I would say for one reason, people are not expecting if somebody could give them knowledgeable, let's say, content in certain language, they can give it in other languages as well. They weren't prepared for it, but I saw that they are kind of happy about it. So if we give them more in multiple languages, so we can attract the biggest category possible, that could succeed.
You think the world wants to hear from us Omanis, and we can only really speak to the world by speaking in their language, which is in English.
Exactly. So if we look Omanis and we are speaking in their language, that would be the best way to indulge them in our culture, in our thought process, the most relevant topics, what we care about as Omanis. So we should probably do that more often.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
So what do you say to that person who's most definitely gonna comment and say, "Intu Omani, ليش تتكلموا إنجليزي?" What do you say to that person?
Grow up. They need to grow up. Honestly speaking.
I like that you did not care about diplomacy. Just grow up, man.
Yeah.
It's an English radio station, Yanas. So this leads me to my next question. Are there any specific areas that you feel deserve more attention in Oman? Right now, you're doing your part in highlighting the business development aspects.
Yeah.
We're trying to do our part to share information that is relevant to people in the English language for non-Omanis and Omanis as well, and the rest of the world, inshallah. Do you feel like there is a gap here in information that we should be highlighting more?
As if in Oman, or?
Yeah, let's say someone is listening to this.
Yeah.
They've been contemplating using their social media for something that is actually beneficial, the same way you do. Not just so that they can show how great they look or following the latest trends.
Exactly.
But they want to bring value to this world. Do you feel like there's specific areas?
Actually, social media and content creation in Oman is still immature, I would say. And we need lots of content creators in every aspect. We don't have anybody who's talking about, let's say, tourism, whether it's in Oman. Maybe we have, but they're not.
I just thought of at least 2 people.
Sorry, they're not as known as they should be.
Okay.
So they should be known, they should be highlighted. Other than tourism, we have academic areas. For example, we don't have that many. So you see, if you see in foreigner content creation, you would see people creating content about how to what is it called, parenthood, parenting,
sure,
or any kind of content creation. We lack good content basically in Oman. So anybody who has any good idea or any good area they would want to attract, please, we need you. And this is one of the reasons I made my studio, is to host good content creators. Like I enable them, I give them the fundamentals. They want space, they want lightning, they want whatever they want. We will provide it. Just create content.
It's a good time to plug your studio. Does it have a name?
No, not yet.
Not yet? You're still working on it. This is very new.
Yeah, not yet.
At the time of this recording, you only recorded one published reel
exactly
in the new studio.
Exactly.
Congratulations,
Thank
by
you.
the way.
Thank
this
you
is
so
fantastic.
Much. Thank you.
Do you have any advice for people who want to be content creators bringing value to the world?
You just have to be sure. You have to be confident and just keep doing what you're doing. Most of them gets frustrated because results takes time.
Yeah.
Sometimes negativity is overwhelming, especially at the beginnings, but you just need to trust the process. Just trust the process. That's all I can say.
Yeah, trust the process. The process, though, is unclear sometimes, depending on the kind of content you're trying to create.
Yes, but if somebody is confident they are creating good content, just keep going. Consistency. You will get there.
Has your journey on social media brought you benefits that you may have not expected?
Yes, I didn't expect to get financial benefits, actually.
Okay.
I didn't expect to get paid for anything because it was kind of educational and I was having fun, and I was surprised when people were ready to pay for my content.
To the point where it can be a living maybe someday, inshallah?
It could be a living, yes, it could be a living. But my advice to whoever wants to create a content, don't start with the goal of making it a source of living, because
100%,
it will frustrate you 10 times more than if you are starting just to create content. Yeah, so they should do something they like with a broader goal. Money follows, always.
So I'd like to conclude this interview with you, Qoot. What future plans or goals do you have for your page, if you're allowed to share some of it with us, and for yourself in a broader sense?
This is not a very, wowing plan.
Okay.
It won't blow your mind, but I feel sorry. After I started creating content, I feel sorry for the situation of content creators. And this is a global issue. It's not just in Oman.
Why do you feel sorry for them?
It doesn't sound sophisticated when you call somebody a content creator. And because of that, they are always stereotyped, unappreciated most of the time, although they contribute in every sector and in every aspect of our everyday life. And this is demotivating good content creators and motivating the entertainment sector, you know?
Well, those who just create shocking stuff for the sake of the shock value. Exactly.
So that's motivating me to make it better for them. We start the culture. It's like a snowball. We have to start from somewhere, and it gets bigger and bigger and bigger with time. So I'm trying to do small stuff, small goals for the bigger picture, to reach where we have good environment for content creators and they are appreciated, which will lead us to have good content creators, hopefully.
This connects to what we spoke to earlier about your studio. That's a part of it.
Exactly. It's voluntarily. I don't even have a plan how to cover the operational expenses, but I'm gonna start from somewhere and we'll see.
If anyone could figure it out, Qoot, it's you.
I'm not ready now.
You're out there teaching us. So.
Exactly, but I don't want to charge them anything. This is the point. I don't want to charge them. Right. The whole concept of supporting them is not charging them. So I'm not sure what to do, but let's start. We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see.
But, you can't have a business model without a business somehow.
It's not business. for now. But I know at some point I have to make business out of it, at least to cover
for the sake of sustainability.
Yeah, operational expenses at least.
Because I have first-hand experience with this, and I'm not going to go into a lot of detail, but many years ago, I started an initiative. Money was the last thing that's in my mind. It was a cultural thing and a topic for a different time. But the point I'm making is about a year in, whatever savings you had in your account, they're gone now.
Yeah.
And then you stop.
Yeah.
And now nobody benefits.
Exactly.
So having some form of a business model that is at the very least not making you sustainable and not affecting the people that you're trying to benefit.
Exactly.
Is the only path to sustainability.
Exactly. I totally agree. If I cannot help myself, I can't help anybody else.
Yeah.
I have few plans for passive income from this studio, but I'm not sure how big we can go. Eventually, I'll have to come up with something else. Percentage or something, you know.
Thank you so much for joining us today. If people want to reach you, how can they find your page?
It's IQOUT8 across all platforms.
IQOUT8 across all platforms.
Exactly.
Thank you so much for joining us
Thank
today.
you for having me, Abdullah.